For more on those scenes, we welcome in Luis Garcia, Jurgen Klinsmann. Jurgen, really the big talking point wasn't what happened in that 90 minutes, but Toni Kroos bidding farewell to Real Madrid, where he had such success, and they seem to do it in exactly the right tone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not by coincidence that he decided now, just a couple of days ago, to tell everybody that he will leave Real Madrid and he will leave the professional side of kicking the ball around after the European Championship then in Germany. I mean, what an amazing career he's had. I mean, 22 titles with Real Madrid, then he won his titles with Bayern Munich.
It takes you back to those moments where you realize that this is going to be the end. You're not going to be playing again at the Santiago Bernabeu. All those supporters that they've been next to you, all the memories, the fantastic memories, winning the Champions League for so many times, La Liga, all the trophies, the teammates that you have there. So it's very emotional. I'm sure that he will continue focus and trying to achieve something big this summer for the European competition, the European Championship. But definitely he's a very special player. He's always been a gentleman on the pitch and outside of the pitch, never put his word in front of the team. He's always been about the team spirit, teamwork, and one of the most special midfielders that the football has seen, not only because he can approach at the last there the way he's done it with assists and goals and allowing players to improve their game, but also the way of playing the simple things that look easy. So a very special game that he's leaving, a very special player that is leaving today. At least we can see him in the European Championship, and hopefully they can manage to at least go long on the competition.
A special tribute to him. It was the opposite for you, wasn't it, Shaq? Your kids cried when you said you were going to continue. Don't make us laugh for him anymore.
My kids cried thinking that, Dad's going to be home all the time now. That's the trouble.
They did it right, though, didn't they? It seemed to work well. A nice tribute.
Yeah, it really was to a player absolutely fitting for such a send-off. And Luis is absolutely right. For all the praises that we sing about Toni Kroos, and we can point to his trophies for his accomplishments, it's somehow off the field or away from it. He's never been embroiled in any controversy. He seems to carry himself in exactly the way people like and acclimatized to. Has never brought the game into any kind of disrepute, or any clubs that he represents into any kind of disrepute. Exactly the kind of role model we all hope that all footballers can be. So Toni Kroos has epitomized the great side of this game, both on and off the park.
Jurgen, we talk about what you're going to miss with Toni Kroos on the pitch, but I imagine Carlo Ancelotti loves having someone like that within the dressing room to be a leader of those young players as well.
Absolutely, and that was his major role over the last years, was kind of to make everybody feel comfortable, to tell them, what the highest standards of Real Madrid mean, and to be kind of an extended version of the manager. And Carlo Ancelotti is a genius in doing that, and giving a lot of trust into Toni Kroos and into his experienced players means a lot to the players as well. You feel then that you have to step up for your manager. You feel like you're part of this whole process, and that's what Carlo Ancelotti always did really, really well. Toni has been a player that always wanted to take responsibility, always wants the ball, he always wants to kind of be in charge of things, and he's done that calmly, quietly, as Luis said, made it look so simple, so easy in most of his moments, but he can also be a warrior. He can also be kind of a guy that kind of wants to show physically also that there are moments in the game that you have to send out a signal. Maybe you have to make a foul and maybe some physical scenes that are not part of necessarily your nice, beautiful game. And Toni is capable to do that. So that's why it would be now really, really interesting to see how he does, kind of finish things off in Real Madrid in the Champions League final. All eyes will be on him, or most of the eyes will be on him. And then obviously the European Championship as well.
You're going to see the sort of player you can see becoming a coach.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the players that you would encourage as a manager to go the coaching direction, to get your badges, to get your licenses, and to kind of, he reads the game already ahead. He always thinks ahead. So he thinks always what would be what would happen if the pass goes there, if the movement of the players go there. So he sees all those things. Now as a manager, then later on, you have to learn how to communicate those things, how to kind of guide an environment, not only with your 25 players, also with a lot of people around these 25 players or even more. But he has the right instinct for doing all those things. And he's a very smart person. And a good person too, so I really hope that he will go down the manager route.
Away from Toni Kroos, we didn't learn much really from today's game. Carlo Ancelotti, Luis, will be delighted that no one picked up an injury, and Thibaut Courtois produced a couple of really good saves.
Yeah, exactly. It's a job done. I think the most important thing was not to pick injuries, to have the feelings of the game, keep the rhythm of the competition, finish in a good moment, say a farewell to Kroos, and of course, checking that Courtois, that in that first chance of Real Betis, when they concede the goal, that clearance with a player in front, it was maybe not the best one, but after that, he have once again produced a couple of fantastic saves, showing that he's in top form. He looks sharp, he looks focused and concentrate. That's what would you expect from one of the best keepers in the world. And I gave 70-30 to Lunin just 3 weeks ago, and right now, probably I will say that it's 80-20 for Courtois to play in the Champions League final. So I think that is a job done for Real Madrid. They won La Liga in a fantastic way. They've done it in style. And they are going to be, once again, favourite for that Champions League final. So perfect job for Ancelotti once again.
Jurgen, just last thing on this, as Luis mentioned the Champions League final, would you prefer to be in Real Madrid's shoes playing today, or in Edin Terzic's shoes and Borussia Dortmund to have 2 weeks of complete preparation?
Oh, I definitely would prefer to play it as fast as you can, because you don't want to bridge it too long. I mean, it eats you up a little bit day by day, all the talk about the game, all the expectations, your own expectations that you have. So the sooner you can play this game and get it out of the way, the better it would be, I think, for both coaches. Both coaches would really like that. So now, you can count it down to 6-7 days. And as you can see, people made up their mind already, so I definitely will go with Dortmund.
Of course you would, Jurgen. Yeah, it's a massive surprise. We, of course, have all week to count down to that Champions League final, which is next Saturday, Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund from Wembley. Luis Garcia will say thank you very much for joining us. Before you reflect on what else happened across Europe today,